Warning, this video is only for 14 and up, and if you're under, please leave this video because I will not be accused of something I don't want to be accused of. Please, if you're under, leave the video. Stories go through the air. You can listen and you cannot. But stories are here to help. Understand what is right and what is wrong. But sometimes stories can do the opposite. There's no right or wrong. You have to form your own opinion. But that is not what you're here for. You're here to listen to this silly little god of this channel. Listens to his mind going on about his stories, about the different worlds where he's traveling to, and where he can make some small different in a timeline. Welcome to the Blue Mask What If channel. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys will enjoy. Let's begin. Hello everyone, this is Blue Mask and welcome back to the next episode of What If Female Deku was an Amazon from Danmachi. Now, last episode, all of Izumi's friends and aka also partners, friends and partners, moved into the dorms of UA. That's not actually mandatory, but it's kind of just everyone moves in to know each other kind of thing. So every single classmate of Izumi is, or aka everyone from class 1A is in the dorms. And oh shit, I need to think. There's 25 students, I will just inform again. Wind Guy is here. Mikoto, Belle, Eyes, and Lafia is in class 1A. In class 1B, the 5 extra people is Shinso, the illusion girl from Shiketsu that also is now in UA. Haruhime, Oka, Chigusa. Those are in class 1B. And after they got there, after they introduced themselves and their quirk, they went to the class the next, after they moved in and got used to everyone. They moved to class after that and then to orientation with Principal Nesu, where I think I said Izumi fell asleep. Then they went to the exercise or quirk test by Aisawa with class 1B. So yeah, class 1B will be more important in this version. I wanted to do that with the I think I wanted to do that with the Link version, but I totally forgot. So yeah. And now Izumi has shown off her power in the test and everything else. They got introduced to Class 1B. They're also more important. Class 1B and Class 1A is separated still, but it's more with normal classes. But when they get to the hero course, All Might asks Principal Nesu to move everyone into one room so he has, more time to spend as All Might and as teaching. Also, he kind of also taught his nieces, being Izumi and Kiri. That's Tiona, or Tioni, in Danmachi canon. Yeah, she has the name of Kiri, one of the Elder Dragons of a short or the actual name of the Elder Dragon from Monster Hunter, the electric unicorn one. Yeah, so Belle has that with... No, not Belle. They have all of that. I don't remember what I... Oh, by the way, I think I said that will be excused from Class 1A. That was Todoroki. Todoroki was scolded by Aizawa because he didn't use his quirk. Because he wasn't focused on Midoriya, or Izuku in this one, because he's Izumi. Izumi's more used to one for all in this point in time and didn't scold anyone else. He focused more on Todoroki not using his firepower and told him, if you don't use your firepower in a situation where you have to use it with a civilian in danger, I have to expel you or send you to general study, replacing you with another person. So if you don't do that, you're expelled, kind of situation with Todoroki. Todoroki understood, and Aizawa recommended him to go to therapy with Hound Dog. So yeah, that is what happened last episode. Oh, and the last one, they hanged out. Sorry about that if you heard that. Izumi hanged out with Ice and Belle in Belle's room playing some video games. That what happened last episode, so yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this little intro and recap. Let's begin the next episode. We start the next morning. Well, no, not the next morning after the first day. But yeah, the first day happened, and then 2 days passed by with normal classes like math, science, hero arts. Okay, that was not a normal class. So, sorry about that. So Izumi can say that was kind of new. And they also has a other class called the Hero Costume Design. Before everyone sent their recommended outfit into the hero design, into the support course, but the original designs was hold it back, but the recommended of how they function, everything else was sent in. They just have to get the designs correctly. And that's where a pro hero teacher called... Ooh, what should I give her as a name? Wait a minute. Loki is actually just Loki the hero. I never gave Loki an actual name. Oh my god. No, she is called Loki, but... Oh, what the... Sorry about this. I have a new chair and I'm loving it, but I need to get used to it. Loki is named Loki and something and a middle name, but her hero name is the Mischief Hero Trickster. Yeah, her name is Trickster, referring to her name as Loki. And the agency is still called the Loki Agency. This hero name is... Hypnotic. Her name is Hypnotic. Mischief Hero. What would Oh, that's a hard title to give her, but her name is What the fuck did I say? Hypnotic. Her name is Hypnotic, but her hero title is something different. Sorry, I just have to get used to some new stuff with my chair. Hypnotic hero. Hypnotic. Not controlling, that would be awful. Soothing hero? Would that make sense? Because she lulls them into a kind of situation. That is where she can stop them. Yeah, I believe that would kind of work here. She's the soothing hero, Hypnotic, but her real name is Freya. Yeah, we have Freya in the house now, and I will just tell you here and now, she's not gonna fall in love with Belle. She's an adult in this one. She's an actual human, not a god. So she doesn't fall in love with Belle. She is, to make this sense, she is married to Otter, he's the Boaz hero. King. He's the Boaz hero king. Because of his strong body and mind. And he has an agent. Freya is a part of an agency called the Kingly Royal, or the King's Agency. She is part of that one as the a hero for that. But she is mostly retired now and teaches at UA as the, costumes design. So Freya is a teacher in this one because I really want her to be in the story, kind of. She is there to, help students figure out their hero design and what can go wrong with them. And see over the history of costumes. So when they got into it, Freya explained, who she is and what she has done. She helps out hero students with their costumes. Oh shit, wait, I don't know. I don't have anything for Kiri. I'll put that up later. Freya explained everything. People has personal designs, but sometimes those designs can be awkward, harmsome, and just outright revealing. She explained that hero costumes is what you wear on work. It doesn't need to be, it should not be uncomfortable. You should work in it, walk in it, sit in it. The costumes should be your second skin. Something movable, something you can do. It should be great to be flexible and everything else. It should not prevent you from moving, dodging, or anything else. But the hero costume should not be unprotected. It should be protecting your vital organs and everything else. If it doesn't, you will be hurt by the costume. It shouldn't be just fabric, it should be protecting you and be movable. He brought up a lot of costumes like All Might's Endeavor's, Hawk's Best Genius, and then some students one, like Nigere's, Sun Eater's, and Kirin's and Mirio's. I'll just find a costume for Kiri, give me a second. Alright, so this is Kirin, or Tiona's design. If you want to look back, you can. But this is what Freya pulled up on the screen. Being Mirio's costume, Sun Eater's, always forget his name. Sun Eater's, Nejire, and Kirin's design. Seeing her sister up there made, well, Izumi smile. Now these designs are from our third years. Mirio Tokuta, Izumi, no, not Kirin, Hirute, Tamaki, Mirio Togata, Tamaki, Amajiki, Amajiki, and Nejire Hado. As you can see, some of them has, well, some revealing parts, like Miss Hirute, but some has a full body costume. But some materials, she snaps her finger and the screen pulled up Mirio's and Kirin's costume, and it shows materials and what they're made out of. Some quirks are kind of different, like Mirio's. Mirio has to, well, grow out his hair and cut it to let the support cores, well, make a fused DNA cloth about his DNA so his core can work with it. And with Miss Hirute, has a more, well, Mirio also has armor fabric inside of his costume that can probably block a thrown knife. It would still hit him and hurt a fuck ton, but you have to actually stab into it before the costume will break. And with Miss Hirute, her costume's armor pieces are more light because of her, well, special DNA, being she's an Amazon. Amazons has more, well, thicker skin than any other human. So her armor parts could, well, her costume could have a little less, well, armor pieces on. But she is still covered in, well, the normal kind of, the places where she has to cover her weak spots, being the weak spot of humans, is still covered in, well, is still covered with still covered in cloth that is the normal amount of armor cloth that's in a costume. So I will just inform, the costume she has on is an outer layer with a little more protection. But where her vitals are, there it is, the parts where her vitals are, she has some cloth that is the normal amount of, well, armor cloth she can have is suggested and need to have on you so you can protect yourself. She also has, yeah, she's covered in armor. But Freya pulled up Amajiki's and Nejire's. Some people can have a costume inside and still have a bulletproof vest with a screen of Sun Eater without his, well, cloak. showing his bulletproof vest and other stuff he has inside of the cloak. But the cloak can also be kind of bulletproof. A lot of them has, well, more armor fabric. So one stabbed with a knife can still, well, if a person stabs you, 9 times out of 10, the knife would have gone through your costume. But showing Mirio's and, well, Amajiki's cloak can... But some cloaks has, well, stab-proof materials. It's more heavier, but more protected for civilians. But sometimes pulling up Nature's giant gloves, you need to have some, well, physical parts of your body that's more, let's say, heavy hitting. So, you can see the different costume has the same materials some places, but different kind of usabilities. That is what I want your outfits to be. And today, you will design a better design of your costume. And if you want to change it, you do. The people that hasn't, well, sent in a design that you wanted, you can design it today. Everyone nodded at this and started to work on their costumes. I will also say here, all of the danmachi characters, except for Izumi, aka Tiona, and Tioni, Kiri, has, except for Izumi and Kiri, that's Tiona and Tioni, they have the same costume. So like Belle's newer armor set is his, well, hero costume. Lufia's... Oh, she has 2 outfits I really fucking like. Being her original, more delicate, or the newer one from manga. And yeah, and the wind guy has the costume without the hat, by the way. All of the costumes from danmachi is mostly the same. So Aiz has her costume, that's her adventurer's outfit from the original. Belle has his newer outfit being the blue one. Bikoto has the blue one as well. Oh, I should probably find a costume for Haruhime that's different. Oka Chikusa has the same outfit. I don't want to change that as well, but I will find a picture in a little while for Haruhime. I don't want her to have the same outfits in the original canon of danmachi because that wouldn't actually work here. So everyone, we're going back to the story. Everyone started to design their outfit. So everyone should be in canon outfits, except for Izumi. Hers is this one you can see on the right side of the screen, with the shoes and everything else showing off, but the mask and the hood is more like the second outfit of Midoriya with the metal mask and the how it looks in the Vigilante arc, aka Vigilante arc, how it looks. But Izumi would also, in this one, have... Izumi wouldn't have the Urga in this one. Bell and Ice could probably make their weapons out of... Well, could make their weapons out of flames and wind, same as Mikoto with her shadow katana. Takusa has a slingshot. She has she has bow and arrows, but they're more dented so it wouldn't kill anybody. Oka has instead of an axe, it's more like a hammer. So yeah, so he has a hammer. Haruhime is a healer. But she would also been trained by the Take Agency in combat. She would have claws, going into motif of her, well, animal features. She would have metal claws on her, like the same designs of Tokoyami's in the second movie. That one, those claws he has is what Haruhime has in this one. But I think with Izumi, well, still being trained by Finn, Gareth, and Riveria and some of the other members that is actually carrying weapons, Izumi wouldn't have a giant fucking sword. She would probably have knives like her sister. Yeah, she would have a knife at this point. The two curves ones that Tiona has in the... Tione has in the... Izumi has the same knives as Tione has in the first dive to floors 59. Those knives Izumi has on her. But they're more on the back, above her butt. But their handles are green, dark green, that is more sticking out towards her side so she can grab it not behind but by her sides and pull them out. They're more for rescuing, cutting people out and everything else, but they are also for fighting if she needs to. Bell would probably also have a knife if he has the black knife of the Hestia knife. And the greenish blue that Wealth made him, the unicorn one. Bell also has that one for, on him. But he kept it at his legs. Eyes would have Desperate as well. Mikoto would have her own katana, same. Chigusa would have a bow. Oka would have a hammer instead of an axe. Mikoto would have the claws. So yeah. And by the way, Kirin has a spear. A reminder of her father figure, Finn. So she took a spear in his arm, in a tribute to, well, him. Izumi also has on her costume for memorabilia the logo of Finn, Riveria, and Gareth by her side. She also has the hood of All Might for the guy that rescued her. For Tione, she has the same marks beside her on her hoodie, or her hoodie above her has 4 logos, being All Might, Finn, Gareth, Riveria, and Loki. I forgot Loki is also a symbol on Izumi's belt and on Tiona's hoodie. They have designs of their mentors on them. And yeah, the hero designs went well. Izumi has the metal mask and the hood in original canon of season 6, where the Vitriolante in the beginning. That kind of hood with the mask, if you remember that. She doesn't have a cape or anything else. Yeah, that's mostly what is. All the rest are original, except for Arihime. I will show that when that happens. Yeah, after that, after the design changes and everything else, everyone went to lunch where, well, Bell introduced some of his friends that Eyes and Tione met once or twice when visiting Bell, being Bell's 2 friends from the support court and business is Liluruka Arde and Wealth Crotzo. He introduced them to his other friends, being Lufia. Yeah, Lufia, because he was kind of nervous of something. Because of Wealth's family history with Riveria's family and Lufia's family, Bell never introduced them to Wealth, being a Crotzo. Crotzo's family line is kind of in the same link between Riveria and Lufia. Lufia and Riveria is not the only living members of their family. They are still cousins and grandmothers, and Riveria's mom and dad. I think they're, I would say, still alive, but in their older age, that they could probably die at some point. But Wealth is the last member of his family that has been more in the villain situation with a long time ago organization that was taken off by the God of War, Ares, a title that a man took. Say he was a god back then, but that failed. They are all dead. So yeah, introducing Wealth and Lufia kind of got heated. Lufia getting angry at Bell not telling her about Wealth, but Wealth told her he was the one to ask not to tell Lufia because of his family histories with hers. Saying he actually doesn't like his family at all. Wealth is an orphan like the rest of them, and is an orphan with Lily from the same orphanage. They have actually Wealth and Lily are from the same orphanage and also got adopted into another hero. Yeah, a lot of the heroes is allowed to adopt children when they need to. They got adopted into the Gorgnu agency. Yeah, not Hephaestus, because that will make sense in a little bit. Gorgnu agency is a more support and business hero agency. They still have heroes in training. They still have them to defend them and do, well, everything else. but they're more like a power loader in a sense. Wealth and Lily grew up, so Lily learned about the business part of things. Wealth learned about the support course, and one of the older when Wealth was 2 years ago a recommend or a student that was invited to work after the sports festival after she impressed Gordnu, the guy that owns the Gordnu hero. He has a different name, but he's called Gordnu. It's the family line that owns this hero agency. Invited a young support course student named Hephaestus of the Greek gods, mostly because of her parents wanted to name her a strong name. Her name was Hephaestus. She is a third year at now in time. And Wealth first meeting her, it's the same story from Wealth in the original canon. He fell in love with Hephaestus. He wanted to do his damn best to be a good-ass support course person. So yeah, that's mostly it from Wealth and Lily. They would pop up in the story later and sooner in some places, but they're not important in that sense, if you know what I mean. But anyways, yeah, meeting Wealth and Lily was Lutheria's first introduction. She doesn't like Wealth. And yeah, that is mostly it from this, not episode, but from this day. And the next day was a normal day, so we have to skip over that. Yeah, the first day happened. Second day was the introduction of every single course except the hero course and the designer. Second day, the actual second day. No, the first day, second day, third day was the introduction of the designer course where the hero costume design. Third day, same thing. And then the last day, the hero course day, where the whole day is half of the day is normal, then the other half is hero course. So yeah, the next day was normal, then the next day happened. And after, the beginning of the last day, yeah, there was the first day, that was Monday. Then they have two normals. No, wait, they have I'm gonna change the dates. First day is Monday, next day was Tuesday? That was a normal day, then first day, third day. Fuck. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was the costume design. Then on Friday, Class 1A had their, first ever hero course, because the teachers wants the students to get into the rhythm of the, school days and what they have, so they have a little more time to explain everything to the students every single day. So right now, they have their two normal classes, that is classroom time, and probably math and Japanese, whatever. And then the last 2 hours is about, the hero course. So, yeah, it's now Friday, And the students has gone through their first hours of their days. Well, the first 2 hours of classroom, and now everyone is getting excited for the next 2 hours or 3 hours. I don't know how fucking long Japan is. But next couple hours is hero studies. And let's say All Might time limit is 2 hours at this point because he has to regulate his time. And because he has nieces that actually care about him, forces him to take some days off for letting heroes do their own stuff. So yeah, All Might has around 2 hours to go with to, well, do everything he could. So when the class got into the normal classroom, everyone was excited to, well, start the hero course. And when the door opens and everyone looks, someone else came walking in that wasn't All Might because he was actually in Class 1B at this point. I wouldn't say... He would probably ask... not Aisawa, he would probably do something else. Or Aisawa is actually... Yeah, Aisawa was actually the one to walk into the classroom and introduce himself as... No, not introduce himself. Tell Class 1A, All Might is right now in Class 1B with Black King. He's gonna be your heroics teacher. I will explain it here. All Might is gonna be your heroic teachers, but he asked to have every single member of Class 1A and Class 1B in the, well, in his class, so he doesn't have to, well, explain this a lot of times, do it all the way. This who has agreed with it, so you will have the same class as Class 1B. So Aisawa explained everything and then opens the case for every single member of Class 1A. Hearing this, everyone went over and grabbed their cases and went to the locker rooms when they met up with Class 1B and Class 1A. Or Class 1B and Class 1A students met up again in their locker rooms. P.S. Locker rooms are a lot bigger than in canon. I think they're very tiny, only for 20 students. So yeah, the bathroom's a lot bigger in this one, or changing rooms. So everyone started to change when Mina in the girl sides saw Izumi pulling out 2 knives. Whoa, why do you have knives? Mina asked, Izumi about this when she looked up in confusion. Wait, you don't know? Know about what? That's totally dangerous! We're dealing with criminals, and a lot of heroes has weapons. You know about that, right? What do you mean? Not all of the heroes has weapons. Yeah, they do. Izumi looked around to spot eyes and Lufia that is holding her staff. Her staff. Oh, wait, give me a moment. I will just, Izumi looked around to see everyone's costume, and let me just pull a picture up. Alright, so these are the outfits I have chosen for Haruhime and Lufia. Lufia is in her, newest outfit. As you can see, she has a dagger on her and her staff for concentration. and Haruhime is wearing the one on the left. And she has on her sides of her, well, the sides of her legs, the claws she has on her. Mikoto is in her season 4, season 2, season 3. What was season 3? No, season 1, season 2, season 3, and yeah, she's in her season 4 design of danmachi. So, well, after Izumi looked around the costume area. She saw, well, Eyes putting on her weapons, Lufia putting the knife in her holster and her staff, with Mikoto taking out her katana, and Haruhime putting on the claws she has with her, and Takusa pulling out her bow and arrows. I mean, there's a lot of people that use weapons. I mean, pointing at the other girls that has. If you're not having them, you will just be attacked, even though we have fantastic abilities. Sometimes you need something to cut yourself out with, or, well, if you need to, take them down quicker, a weapon would help immensely. If you don't have a powerful quirk, well, that would work. But that's so dangerous! Yeah, but a lot of heroes, like I said, has weapons. Name one! Hawks? Hawks doesn't have weapons! He has his feather blades. Facts on blades. Okay, yeah. Someone else. Rorimasha, the actual samurai. Okay, that makes sense. He's a samurai. But that's just aesthetics. No, I don't actually know what Rorimasha's quirk is. So I believe it's just weapons or something. After seeing Rorimasha and Mina ask for another one, Izumi says Mr. Aizawa. Mr. Aizawa just have his scarf. At this point, Mikoto spoke up. No, he doesn't. He has a knife on his back. Okay, someone else, then. Ryukyu has a weapon on her. It's not noticeable because it's more like in her costume design. But the literal claws on her face is actually weapons. Another one! What about the Loki Familia Agency? They have a lot of weapons like Finn, Gareth, Raoul, even one of the strongest sword. There are also the Take Agency, the King's Agency. There's a lot of people that use weapons. Even though they don't need to, a lot of them do. But it's very violent and can harm people. So does quirks. I mean, take the weapons away. Eyes can literally cut anything with her wind. It's highly dangerous for her and others. Me, I have my strength and speed. I can literally punch a man's head off. I mean, Mikoto can literally make a katana out of her shadow like she explained. Yes, I can. But what about someone else? I mean, Belle has knives. I think Oka. Oka has a hammer. Yeah, see. I mean, weapons are dangerous, but you can use them correctly. Mina tried again, trying to, well, think that weapons are dangerous in hero work. Mina. Mina looked over to see Momo. Over 30% of heroes has weapons. You know that, right? Not everyone just use their quirks. A lot of people use weapons. I mean, not 13 actually has a knife on her. It's hidden, but it's actually on her. She does? Yeah. This time Uraka spoke up. I know 13 has a knife. It's on her backpack. Very hidden. On the back of her costume, there's like a long, well, pole-like thing. That's an actual knife. I'd seen her using it in rescue operations. But Commonly Woods doesn't have one. No, he doesn't, because he makes his own weapons, Izumi said. Actually, one point I think he actually created a wooden sword for a fight with a guy that uses weapons. I think it's a rare thing he uses his wood like that. Or just a blade arm he can make. Mount Lady! You don't know? Well, it's not a common fact, but she actually has a hammer. She what? Yeah. It's not noticeable, because she doesn't carry it a lot. But when times come, she actually uses them for... No, Mount Lady doesn't have a hammer. Fuck yeah, scratch that. Mount Lady actually has, well, knuckle dusters. The things that goes over your knuckle that's metal. Mount Lady actually has those in her hands. It's not noticeable, but you can see rings on her hands. Those are for punching harder. Mina just stops and thinks. I mean, not a lot of heroes use weapons, but a lot of them do. Just think about it, Mina. Okay, but it isn't... I know, it's hard, Izumi said with a smile. To realize that a lot of heroes actually use, well, weapons instead of just their quirks. But it's more better to use something else than just a quirk. If you're weak and you can't fight with your quirk, a weapon is more reliable than that. I kinda see it. Yeah. So please don't judge anyone that's carrying a weapon that's heroes. Only stupid people does. Izumi picked up the knives she was put down on a bench. She was, well, putting her outfit on, and then, well, putting the knives on her costume and walking out with Eyes, Luffy, Mikoto, and Haruhime and Takusa out of the room, with the other girls thinking about it. Walking out of the, well, locker room, Izumi spotted Belle and Oka walking out of the boys' area. Oh, you two are quicker,
You're too quick as us, Izumi says, walking over to Belle and Oka, with her just jumping upon Belle's back to Belle just carrying her. Yep, we had a talk with the other guys about us using weapons. Oh, we had the same with the girls, actually. You did? Yeah, we did. Mina actually asked why we carried weapons. And we had to explain a lot of heroes actually carry weapons. Even though it's not noticeable, they actually do. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we had the same talk with Kaminari that asked the same question. We had to explain a lot to, well, Kaminari, Mineta, and, Kirishima and Tetsutetsu why we carry actual weapons. Ida actually says that some of his brother's sidekicks. I think Ida would have told them that he's the brother of Ingenium at this point. So Ida had to explain some of his brother's sidekick actually wears weapons because their quirks are not combative, and if they get attacked, they have to defend themselves. He said it was quite common for his brother to, well, it's quite common for his brother's sidekicks to have people with weapons. That makes sense. I mean, like you said, he's the brother of Ingenium. His No, she wouldn't say about anything about his costume. Yeah. After walking, well, for a few minutes out to the, well, where Aisawa, All Might, and Vlad King was, they stood and waited for the others to come out as well. Meaning when the time comes, everyone walks out in the original outfit they have. With, well, the two other students being the Wind Guy and the Illusion Girl from Seketsu in the original canon doesn't have their hat, but has their outfits. And Shinso has his hero outfit, not a sports costume. He has his hero outfit from the last season. And yeah, every single one from Class 1B has their outfit as the original canon as well. All Might stood there with a smile on his face, smiling at all the students. Ah, I see you all are well dressed as young hero students. I must say, all your costumes looks fantastic. And I've seen the lessons of Mrs. Miss Illusion or Hypnotic. Miss Hypnotic's lessons, I think I called her that. Miss Hypnotic's lessons was in your head. By the way, she made Momo cut off the long fucking thing that's on her back. That thing was cut off. So it isn't that fucking big, it's just small, allowing her to hold a book. It's more like a hook shape instead of that shelf thing she has on her back. Now it's just a hook thing on her back. That doesn't fucking break her back. Anyway, students. Today we are doing a exercise. And it's battle trials. The students get excited to hearing about this, and All Might explains the rules are the same, by the way. So everything in canon that should happen in canon will happen. And after All Might explain all of this, now we pick slots. So come up and pick your number to see who your teammate is. So there is 50 students. There's 50 students because there are 25. Meaning there's 25 teams, meaning one team have to do it twice. Or, in a funner case, now, All Might pointed something. Because your teams are 25 teams, one group would have to fight with another. So one team against another. Ida raised his hands to ask if it was unfair to the other team. Not exactly. You see, sometimes it's unfair for the different teams. Villains versus heroes. If the villains are more, isn't having more same people than the heroes team. And vice versa. So, it's unfair, yes. But it is normal. After that, Ida agrees with it, and All Might pulled out a laptop to get all the students. Pulls out a tablet, and every single student came up to give their number. So instead of Team A, Team B, Team C, there's not a lot of fucking fuck. It's not not enough letters. There it is. There's not a lot of letters. I think there's 23 maybe. There's not 25 letters in the alphabet. So All Might just had numbers. So Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, Team 4, and all the way up to Team 25. So when the student grabbed the ball, they had a number and had to find their team. When Izumi draw her, she looked around for 17. Walking around and looking at everyone that was forming their team, someone walks up to Izumi and said well, it seems like we're on a team. Looking over, she saw it was Mikoto. Both of them had Team 17. Well, at least I have a partner actually knows how to fight. Yeah, a little. Yeah, that makes sense. After All Might said to the students to come up and say their number, Izumi and Mikoto went up and said 17, putting the ball back in the box. And after everyone got their numbers, All Might took their numbers and went through an algorithm. He spun a roulette wheel. And the first team up was Team 7 to Team 20. Team 7 was Bakugo and Inesa, the one guy, versus Bell Crenel. Yeah, I have some planned fights. And What would I choose as his partner? Mm, Tetsu was his partner. So Bell and Tetsu versus Bakugo and Inesa, the wind guy. And well, this one, Bell was the villain with Tetsu, and Bakugo was the heroes with the wind guy. Everyone, by the way, I will have 2 fights, being Bell's and Izumi's. Sorry, Ice and Lufia fans. They would have their fight off screen. So, yeah, Bakugo was fighting with Inesa, and they were the hero team with Bell as the villain team with Tetsu. And after, well, All Might told them the rules and everything else, Bakugo looked at the building with anger, still pissed off of Bell. But with Bell, Bakugo and Inosa tried to talk to Bakugo, but he was just pissed they didn't talk to him. With Bell and Tetsu, Bell came up with a strategy. They placed the bomb in the middle of the floor where a room was surrounded by other rooms, but put it on the second floor. Because of, well, Bakugo's, well, explosion, Bell could probably think that he could probably lift himself off. And Inesa, having wind, seeing him using his wind to move around, same as Bakugo with his explosions, Bell decided to put it on the second floor where no one could see it, and have, well, Tetsu go to the 4th floor. It's a 5-floor building, up to the 5th floor, to stay up there and run around in one area. So if Inazaki went up, he will stay up there with Tetsu fighting him, and Tetsu is a counter for Ineza because he's fucking metal. I think, no, they will put it on the 3rd floor because it's a 5-floor building, and Bell will place the bomb in a small room with no windows and everything else. The Bell will go from the 3rd floor down to the 2nd floor to wait for Bakugo to probably rush in, try to find Bell. After Tetsu heard about the plan, he tried to say it was not manly, but they are villains right now, Bell countered, so they just shouldn't act like heroes. Hearing this, Tetsu agreed for the moment, and when the count started, Tetsu rushed up to the, well, before the countdown was finished, Tetsu was on the 5th floor, and Bell went to the 2nd floor. After the countdown went down, Bell started to walk around in the building. Bell heard the wind flying up towards the roof of the, well, building, so he think Ineza went up there. After some few moments, he hears the fast running feet towards Bell's area. Turning around to see it was Bakugo coming up like planned, and Bakugo is kind of pissed. "There you are, you damn rabbit!" Oh shit, it's the Pomeranian kid. God damn it, Bell! I don't have a word for Bell right now because he wouldn't take the name Deku. So Bakugo would probably call him Rabbit. No, Rabbit Foot is the. Fuck, he would call him Little Rookie. Because in the younger days, Bell tried a sport Bakugo did, but he was kind of terrible at it. So Bakugo called him the Little Rookie. There you are, Little Rookie. Great, that old nickname comes up. What, should I call you Fire Pomeranian or the Explosion Pomeranian? You be quiet! Fuck, Bakugo is fucking. I can't do a proper Bakugo voice. You be quiet! Oh, what did I do now? Did I piss off your ego or something? You have ruined my story about how I became the greatest hero. God damn it, it's about that perfect background situation, huh? Shut up! Now I can pay you back. Bakugo rushed forward, trying to hit, Bell with his signature's right hook. But Bell, going into Bakugo's guard, grabbed the arm and doing the same flip as Izuku in Ritual Canon. But when Bakugo bounced up from the ground, Bell raised his, foot up with his fire activated. When Bakugo saw this, he exploded his hands and make him lunge away from, Bell when he slammed his foot down. Bakugo stood up and got ready for his explosion, but Bell, activating his, flames on his legs, rushed towards Bakugo with both of his knives out. Cutting towards Bakugo with both of his knives. Bakugo trying to dodge, but Bell kicked him, also trying to kick him, punch him with his flames. Both of them, Bakugo kept dodging around and starting to get cuts on him. When Bakugo exploded further back, Bakugo let out I can't say shit. Let out further explosions down the hallway where Bell was, but Bell went into a corridor or another hallway to dodge the explosion from Bakugo. When Bakugo walked forward, think he defeated Bell, walking past Bell's hallway, Bell ran out from it and, Bakugo turning to him, slammed Bakugo into the wall and placed both of his knives in Bakugo's upper outfit, making sure he couldn't move. Luckily, Bell didn't stab into Bakugo, he stabbed through the clothing of Bakugo's shirt. He still cut him, but he stabbed into the ground where Bell grabbed his tape and, put it around his wrist. Bakugo, seeing this, got pissed, but All Might said, "Young Bakugo is out of the fight. Bakugo, please leave the building so you don't interfere with others." Bakugo growled and Bell pulled out his knives. Bakugo landed on his, stood there looking at Bell with pissed look, but walked out of the building with anger on his face. After that, Bell rushed up towards the upper floors, where he saw Tetsu, fighting Inessa in a, room. Inasa trying to hit Tetsutetsu off from his feet, but he was metal, so he just rushed towards Inasa that just dodged and dodged him. At one point, they went out of the room and down the hallway where Bell hid behind, with Inasa towards Bell's back. Without Inasa noticing, Bell put his knives away and started to jump from wall to wall. And then when he turned around, hearing Bell coming, Bell hit Inasa in the back, on the back of his back. He hit him in the back and launched him forward where Tetsu punched Inasa in the gut, sending him on the ground, and then Tetsu used his capture tape to make Inasa lose, making the villains win. After seeing this and seeing the complete victory over Bakugo and Inasa, everyone, when they saw the group return, clapped at the victory of Bell and Tetsu, with Izumi jumping on Bell's back and just hugging him tightly. All Might stood in front of the class with Aizawa and Vlad King because they have to watch their students fight. Alright, students. Can you all tell me who is the MVP of this fight? Momo raised her hands and told, well, it was Bell, because of his strategy of putting the bomb in the middle floors, away from the windows. Inasa, if he went around the building, could not see the bomb or where it is. But because of Bakugo and Inasa could fly up to the fifth floor and go to the bomb if it was there, it would have been a bad choice. So Bell's decision to place it in the middle of the floors, away from others, and making sure that Tetsu was up where Inasa would probably go, and Bell being the distraction of Bakugo, and then mentioning the anger Bakugo has towards, well, Bell, that helped out with their fight. And Bell being a almost good counter for Bakugo because of Bell's speed, and Bakugo had to always dodge him and his knives. Bell was a good counter, but a horrible counter to Inasa that uses wind. So putting Tetsu against Inasa was a good plan for Bell. All Might, hearing this, nodded at this and said all of that was correct, but with Bell not... well, with still a few issues with Bell not taking the chance to, well, hit Bakugo or try to stop Bakugo earlier than he could have, was one issue, but not a big one. And Inasa also got some few pointers with Bakugo, was told to make sure his anger problems was down, not being a problem for others. And after that, the next fight was 3 fights before Izumi's, being Ida and Kendo versus Mikoto. No, not Mikoto. Fuck, Mikoto is with Izumi. With Ida and Kendo versus Oka and and Ibarra. Yeah. Ibarra was with Oka in this one. Oka and Ibarra lost in... No, they won in this round, being both of them being heroes. Because of Ida needed a room to move, they chose the biggest room, and that was kind of on the 5th floor, but Abara, having vines, made sure that all of them was, well, both Oka and Abara could come up to the 5th floor. And so it was kind of a bad matchup, with Oka being his quirk being I think it said he could become stronger and stronger, but not movable a lot of the time. So that was kind of a hard counter for, well, Ida, because he could not move him. And Ibarra having a better counter for, well, Kendo. It was just a bad matchup at all. Then the next fight was Kirishima and Momo against Takusa and who else? Takusa and Uraka. Sorry about that. After, well, yeah, Chigusa and Uraka was against Kirishima and Momo, and unfortunately, it was kind of a quick match because of Chigusa's teleportation. So she actually teleported to different rooms in the building, remembering the map, because she can't take Uraka with her, because that's kind of a bad situation if she does that. She teleported to different rooms in the building, finding the room where the bomb is, where Momo was blocking off. She just touched the bomb when Momo wasn't looking. Kirishima was running around downstairs. So when the match was declared over, Momo looked to see Chigusa being there and then teleporting the bomb outside. It's literally just paper mache, so nothing could hurt the bomb. So when teleporting out, she just grabbed it and teleported it outside where Uraka was still waiting. So it was a bad matchup for fucking anyone against Chigusa. Then we have the matchup against Eyes. Wait, no. The first one was... Was that already free? Ida went against Oka with Abara and Kendo. Momo and Kirishima was against... Yeah, I think that... No, that was 2. That was 2. If I'm wrong, fuck me. The next fight was Haruhime and Octopus Guy against Eyes and Thea. And let's just say the fight was quickly over for the heroes. Even though Haruhime could heal Shoji, a lot of the time her ability ran out and she was also captured by Eyes at one point. And, well, Thea being a heavy hitter just knocked Shoji out of the fight quickly. Then we come to, well, Izumi and Mikoto being against Monoma, Todoroki, Shinso, and the girl that can grow and shrink things. So when that was announced, it was almost 3 Class 1B member with Todoroki in the mix, and Izumi and Mikoto against them. So All Might said that because of the 4 being the 4 could easily probably defeat Mikoto and Izumi if they were villains. They were gonna be heroes, and they were gonna be villains instead. So when that happened, All Might sent them off, and Izumi looked over the floor plan and everything else. We didn't show them a lot of our abilities. Wait, I said that her shadow is like Tokoyami's, is sentient but cannot be understood. She cannot teleport through shadows. She can make shadows, make anything from her shadow, and boost her weapons when that happens. She cannot teleport or anything else. She can probably feel through the shadow where all of them are. That's one of her abilities, but she cannot teleport. Probably in the future, but not now. After going through everything and planning it out, Izumi and Mikoto got a plan out. Both of them, Mikoto would hold on to Izumi's back when she jumped up to the 3rd floor. But Izumi is afraid if Todoroki would use his eyes on the building. So they wait a few seconds if the alarm starts, and break through if it's covered in ice on the 3rd floor as well. Izumi just jumps into the window. When they do that, both of them stay together, not splitting up, because that is a horrible idea in this situation. Shinso, both of them don't. Well, Mikoto actually knows about Shinso's quirk because she was told by Haruhime and Chikusa and Oka about Shinso. He has a quirk that can hypnotize you into, doing his orders. But he calls it mind control. So, Izumi needs to not talk to Shinso at all. Or Mikoto at all. So, the both of them decided to use gestures. Pointing at which one finger point is where to go. 2 finger points is which of them wants to attack. No, they point 2 fingers. The people a wall they attack, or the people they attacked. And point is just rush that way and that way. So after they got up with the plans, after some few moments, the alarms hit and the whole building froze over. Izumi knew about this and looked at the building. Izumi knew that probably would have happened with Todoroki and looked at how the eyes acted. When the building was froze over, it looks like it was spread from the 4th floor, not the 5th floor in this one. This is a 6-story building. They're on the 4th floor, where the ice started to spread quickly from. But Mikoto also warned that, and Izumi also saw that Monoma has a copy quirk. If he copies Todoroki's, He's the one that could probably have let that off. That kind of ice off, but Todoroki having more experience, they have to look for a more experienced ice shooter. And because of Monomata freezing to the street, Izumi could probably think that was Todoroki. So, getting their plan active, Mikoto put her arms around Izumi's neck, with Izumi grabbing Mikoto's under her knees so she doesn't fall off. Izumi activated her quirk to jump as high as possible up to the... not from the ground level. That is... there's 6 floors, so the 5th floor is the highest floor. So, the 5th floor is the 4th floor. So Izumi jumped up to the 1st floor and then used her quirk to and her Amazon DNA to jump up to the 4th floor. No, the 3rd floor. Yeah, the 3rd floor. And because she couldn't jump further, Mikoto stabbed her katana into the wall with her shadow's help. Latching on, Izumi kicked the window and both of them got into the building. Both of them nodded and rushed towards the right and into the hallway. The ice being more stronger here and more slippery, both of them was careful. With Izumi, using her quirk to slam into the ice, cracking it, so her foot couldn't be stable. Rushing down the hallway, Izumi spotted a, wall that shouldn't be there. Thinking this could probably be the girl that can shrink or do anything with size, saw that the wall that shouldn't be there is probably a fake, so she rushed forward and slammed into it, breaking through it and spotted, the size shrinking girl there, shocked of Izumi just breaking through the wall. Izumi, seeing her, was still in the air, grabbed her around the shoulders and just flipped her over her and just Izumi turned herself around in the air and grabbed her, still grabbing her shoulder, turned herself around in the air, and then when she went down, slammed herself on the girl's back, making her stumble forward and on the ground, with Izumi holding her in a Nelson lock, or the one where you put your arms underneath the shoulders, under the armpits, and up and grabbing the head so you can't move, and making sure Izumi's legs was around the swinging girl so she couldn't run or get up at anything else. Mikoto, seeing this, jumped through the hole and grabbed her tape and spun it around her wrist, making sure she was out. Izumi, seeing this, put up 4 fingers and put one of them down, saying, 1 out, 3 to go. After that, both of them rushed down the hallway again. But this time, when they turned around the corner, an ice wall came down the hallway and both of them stopped. Izumi, seeing this, rushed back towards the other hallway and rushing down that one. Looking at another hallway where the ice came from, she saw Todoroki looking at their direction. He sent down another ice wall, and Izumi, noticing he's blocking off towards these stairs to the next floor. Izumi pulled out her knives and still having One for All activated, started to cut through the ice as fast as she could. When Izumi broke through the ice that was down the hallway, Todoroki stood there stoic but still has shock in his eyes. Izumi slamming through and rushing towards Todoroki. He made an ice wall towards, Izumi, where she jumped away, where Mikoto also jumped away, but this time towards the stairs. At this point, Mikoto rushed upstairs and towards the, bomb area. Damn it! Todoroki sent a bunch of ice towards, Izumi, when she's just jumping around, dodging them, and then cutting them down when they're coming too close. Just defending as much as she can. But at some point, she did slip on an ice and then got cut in Todoroki's ice wall. Todoroki, walking over with frostbite bite on him, smiled at this. You're not strong enough to defeat my ice then. What a shame. Izumi, looking at this, just looked annoyed about this and started to use her quirk from, I would say, 4% would be the reasonable amount to give her, and then boosted his to 1%, to 4% to 5 to 6 and to 7, and that started to hurt Izumi a lot. Then to 8%. And Todoroki, not noticing because he was walking away from Izumi, broke free and jumped towards him. Todoroki turning around, trying to throw another ice wall at her, but he didn't see her when she grabbed him by his what would she grab? Grabbing Todoroki's collar, she landed on the ice and put her feet more to the ground, cracking it so she can have more stable. Threw Todoroki over her shoulder and just threw him into a wall, slamming him hard, making sure he was down. Izumi rushed over and grabbed, her tape. When Todoroki tried to, freeze her, she just jumped over him and just threw it around his waist. And make sure it was binding, she captured him. Shoto Todoroki is out of the match, with Shinto Hatoshi following with. Izumi stopping and looking at Todoroki that had a pissed look on his face. He started to walk away, not saying anything to Izumi, and her, seeing this, didn't talk anything back to Todoroki. After standing up, All Might called out, "The bomb has been captured. Hero team wins." After Mikoto left, she went up to the floor and rushed down the hallway, checking every single room. Because some of them were blocked, she sent her, stabbed her sword into the room through the door and ice. When the shadow looked around, informed her that it wasn't there, rushed away. She did that to 5 other rooms before she went to the right one, busting into it Shinzo tried to talk to her, but she didn't say anything. Shinzo trying to use sticks because he doesn't have any other thing to fight with. Tried to no, he didn't have sticks. He tried to talk to her, but she just rushed forward and slammed her, katana hilt into Shinzo's throat, stopping him from talking. Using her capture tape to capture him, with Monoma using the Grow and Shinzo's quirk trying to talk to Mikoto, but she just cut through it and kicked Monoma away, grabbing the bomb. Mikoto cutting through the ice and grabbing it with her hand, making sure the fight was over. They went to the observation room where it was kind of cold because of Todoroki's ice. But Bell being there warmed the room a little. With All Might ordering Todoroki, use his flames to thaw the ice. He used his steam kind of heating ability to melt the ice on the building. When they got back, All Might explained who the MVP was. Momo said it was a mix between Izumi and Mikoto. Both of them planned out different things. Mikoto with the signs, Izumi with the first part where they have to break through and where Todoroki was. And both of them communicated as best as they could because of Shinzo's, understood hit a mind control quirk. So them planning it out how to talk was a great idea for them. And all the compliments to Izumi and everything else. But there was also criticism from, Momo with if they hadn't split up, they could take Todoroki down faster. But it makes sense to split up at the moment, and it worked better than it should have. But also saying that the villain team still had a great plan of freezing the building, making sure no one could come through. And luckily for them, they had some people that could cut through it and punch through the ice. And them trying to block the hallway with fake walls and everything else was a good idea. But if the students understood the map, it was kind of a awful plan. And after that, that was it from Momo and others complimenting. After, who was the MVP thing, Izumi immediately jumped on Bell's back, just trying to warm up because it was fucking cold in that building. So Izumi's just wallowing, just on Bell's back again, just, I want warmth kind of situation, with Bell just laughing at Izumi's behavior. And after that, it was just random. Everyone from class 1B and A, it will take a fucking while, and I've talked for 45 minutes in a row. Fuck, my voice hurts a lot. Sorry about that. But after that, and after the first 2 hours went by, All Might called the lessons complete and said,
Alright, that is it for today. Hope you guys understood everything, and, well, see you later, students. I have paperwork to do. And just sprinted off towards the elevator. Everyone was excited about it, and everyone went to the locker room and back to UA. And then to their dorms. Yeah, that was it from this episode, actually. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good morning, goodbye, for a while. See you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, my blue masks. Bye-bye! And if you want to vote on this week's episode, I am sorry, I will choose a special kind of episode. Because, well, I have a lot of series. You guys deserve something else at least. So, hope you guys will be excited. Bye-bye!